I'm now live, it says. I'm alive. I'm alive. Um, so let's see. What I did today, or yesterday and today, was, I don't know if this is good ink or bad ink, is I took my work area and I sort of did a do-si-do. See if I can do it on this side here. So my workbench, here's a 1-point perspective workbench thing. Here are drawers. Here is a shelf. Here were boxes of pens, boxes of sacks, boxes of all sorts of debris. And there was all sorts of debris down here too. Mainly the debris pile was on this side. And I would sit on this side. Well, the problem with sitting on this side that I just had, hello Fox Valley, your name starts with a U. I'll talk to you in a second. Let me just finish this thing here. What the problem when I was sitting here, I'm sitting on a stool that has little wheels, and I have a piece of carpeting that's right here. So every time I would move back, I would hit this little carpeting, and it pissed me off royally. So what I did was I took the debris from here and the debris that was down below here that was keeping me from moving this way and moved that over here. So now I've got some drawers here for certain pens. I've got other stuff here. I could probably get rid of all of those things, but they do come in handy. This one especially comes in handy because I use that when I go to shows. So now I've got all this free range area here to move my little stool around in. So all of the stuff that's over here is now going to go over here. And there's not a lot of stuff over there. Hello, Kim. So that's my plan. And it also allows me to have this thing closer, this iPad and the camera that's right here on the corner, closer to my chest. And my eyeball, we'll have a downward version of this shot. So here's my desk looking down. Here's my gut. Here's my bald head. Here's my arm and my pen. And the contraption that's holding up my iPad is connected here and looking. So here's where it is. So out of my bad eye, I can see what I'm writing, and out of my good eye, I can see what you're typing. So actually, it works better all in all if this iPad is that way rather than sort of in front of me. Now this is what the desk looks like now. I'm sure within 2 days it'll be completely covered with debris, and I'll be kicking myself just as I was doing before. So anyway, this is how it looks. So I filled this pen. That was one of my things to do today, was this. And I'm now going to try to fill this pen. This is a Waterman 476. So that's sterling overlay, screw cap, eyedrop fill with a number 6 nib. But I can't unscrew it. It's like tight. So I haven't put it in a micro cleaner, whatever it is, ultrasonic cleaner. So this is how I fill it. I fill it like a JG Rider. I take out the feed, and now I dumped out the old, it had water in it, so now I'm gonna actually fill it with ink. Because I like using this pen. It's a big clunky pen. It looks like it was owned by a owned and used by a guy that drove a freight train. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm believing, and I'm sticking to that story. So now what we have to do is put this back. Like that. Put it back in. But what's nice about this nib, it's really, really, really fine. So it's like the big burly 300-pound freight train driver speaks with a falsetto voice. Oh, well, I'm so happy you like my train. My train is big and long, and I just say I think I can all the time. So CMIG from EHBA 1923. So I'll have to come up with letters that mean something to do with trains. From EHBA Association. From EHB Association. Anyway. I suppose I could type up EHBA and maybe it'll find something in Google. So would someone like to join me? Fox Valley, would you like to join me today? Again? Hang out? You can show me some other pens you got. This is an old ledger book that was used by someone at some time. And I buy old ledger books because of the paper. 1889, it says. It says it upside down, 1889. So this is someone's accounts. And some historian that's doing something about the history of a particular company this is all they need, is this book right here to explain how the company worked, and I have it, and I'm tearing out pages and throwing them away. So that's what I do. So would anyone like to join me? Invite, copy, paste. Okay, paste, send. Nope, I didn't mean to. How do I get that off? I have to unpin the comment. There we go. It still jiggles. I feel like you're looking at me underwater because I'm going to see if I can figure. Oh, I see. Well, your son is more important than me, of course. I would like to learn more about the pens that you collect and what kind of nibs you like. I think you had mentioned that you enjoy lots of different kinds. You certainly know how to use the flexible nib. Kim, would you like to join? Kim said some very nice things about me yesterday, which thank you, Kim, for your kind comments about people willing to pay money to see my collection. So Fox, there's a game, and Kim, I don't know if I've played this with you, but there's a game I play. I don't know if Kim is still in the room. There's a game I play that I will tell you about now. And if I can find the book, I move things around, so now it's hard to find. There it is. Someone, a pen collector, had given me this guest book. And the guest book is from, I don't know when. but it was kept by a family or a woman or man about the guests they had at their house. And their guests came from all over the country: England, Chicago, Liverpool, Paris. So these are people that visited Berlin. Look at that! Look at that great lettering. Hilda Felschön. Felschön. So what I do with this book, again, I'm not a historian. I don't really care who these people are. But what I've done is use this to invite you. The last people, 1963, is when this, 1964 is when this ended. So what I do is, Helsinki, Finland. This is what I do with this book. Just the sound of this paper is beautiful. What I do is I imagine a dinner party, or you imagine a dinner party. Here's the dinner party. So here's the table, and here are the 8 or 6 people. You can decide whether you want 6 people total or 8 people total. And you're one of them. But who would you invite if you could invite anyone in the world? And they could be living or dead. I think I wanted them to be real people, but occasionally we have had people that have put fake people in, or fictional people, like the Cat in the Hat. So the first one, I don't know who this was, Normand Wardener. He was someone that followed me here. So he wanted nomad. Who's that? Jesus, Buddha, Lincoln. Maybe that's Muhammad. Maybe that's my Jesus, Buddha, Lincoln, Alexander the Great, Einstein, Napoleon I, and Sir Edmund Hillary. So those are the people that are going to be at that dinner party. It would help if I could read my own writing. Bach, Mark Twain, Thomas Kincaid, George Washington. I wonder who that person was. I'm sorry, Kim, you're not feeling. Ms. Marilyn Darling, this is who she asked. Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Jefferson, Alfred Hitchcock, Marilyn Monroe, Belle Davis, whoever that is, Pierre Gustafson. Oh, she invited me. Joshua Schrodinger, Schrodinger, and the guy that made the cat. The Schrodinger's cat. I'm wondering why she asked them. Friedrich was here yesterday talking about pens. Ramses II. This was his boyfriend at the time. I don't know who this, Tiso. I don't know who that is. Father Mendelovich, his grandmother, Voltaire, and Frank Nitti. We have another Marilyn Monroe, Noam Chomsky. So there's a lot of people that are our favorites. Dr. Seuss, Alfred Hitchcock, Dr. Seuss, Mitch wanted Stanley Kubrick, Douglas Adams, Pablo Picasso, Art Bell, I don't know who that is, Marie Curie, Amelia Earhart, and Grace Hopper. I don't know who that is either. So you guys think about who you'd like to invite to the party. Here's my friend Travis, Cicero, Cataloof, whoever that is, Robert Palmer, Matt Fallon, oh, my neighbor. I guess he didn't want to invite me. Winston Churchill, Jones Baldwin, James Baldwin, Tina Turner, and his friend Jill, Queen Elizabeth II. She was alive at that point. FDR. Anyway, so it's sort of fun how you would. Oh, someone wanted to bring Elon Musk, though I don't know who. That's as far as they got on their list. Peer, this is me. Who would I bring? Well, Saul Steinberg, Noel Coward, Liberace. The reason I wanted, and Hermann Goering, I wanted Liberace and Hermann Goering to be sitting next to each or across from each other, and they would try to outbling each other with their outfits. Max Raba is a singer. Bennett Cerf is a wit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 2 more on mine. Robert. Who is Robert, I wonder? So I drew these people at this party. He wanted a waiter. He wanted to have someone, I think he asked me to be the waiter so I could listen into the conversation. Scott. Alejandro. Xander. Oh, I know who these people are. These 2 people are now married. You could challenge them and call them names. You can. I mean, the thing is, there was this TV show called I forget what it's called. Steve Allen, an American comedian, sort of came up with this idea, and he had a TV show on public broadcasting, and I think it was called Meeting of the Minds or something like that. And he invited people from history to talk to each other, sit at a table for 4 or 5 people, and he would. So one of the ones had Cleopatra, and then was one of the people, and then a woman's rights leader. I don't know who that was, but it was interesting how they both were in character, and even though Cleopatra was the leader of Egypt, she felt that women should be subservient and should play a second-class role. So I think the idea, Kim, is, I suppose, if you wanted to have yourself be the waiter, or you could still be sitting at the table, you don't want to miss the conversation. There was one person, I forget who, they wanted Monica Lewinsky and Mrs. Clinton to be at the table. They wanted Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels, or they didn't even want Trump. They wanted Stormy Daniels and Mrs. Trump, whatever her name is, starts with an M, not Melinda.
I love my wife. She's perfect. She's so perfect. What's her name again? Melinda, Melanie, Madagascar. One of those names, one of those M words.
So he wanted to he or she, I forget who, again, wanted this list. I think it was a he. I think it was Parker that came up with these. He wanted to just watch the fur fly. So who did they want? Charles Darwin. This is an author. Milan Kundera. Stuart Davis is a painter, but he might be also a musician. Utah Phillips, I don't know who that is. Mary Shelley, of course, the woman that wrote Frankenstein. Jane Goodall. So Oh, thank you.
And no one.
There's a video I want to make with my neighbor who does a perfect, absolutely perfect Trump impersonation, and I want to sell Donald Trump a fountain pen. And I'm going to suggest um, the Schaefer Golf pen because that's a little tiny pen. It's about this big, and it was used to keep your golf score. But it also, in his case, would make his hands look so much bigger.
I have perfect hands. My hands are perfect, people. They're perfect. I can use the Sharpie. Look at me. Look at me, people.
So anyway, you guys think about who you want to invite to your dinner party. I'll put this back in its little spot. When I'm at a pen show, I forgot to bring these books with me to the show a couple of weeks ago. I bring 2 books to get autographs. One of them is this one, the Waterman's autograph album, and this was put out in the 30s, I think. And it was meant to have boys. It was for the Boy Scouts, so you would collect people's signature and write who they were, whether they were an opera singer or the mayor of the city you're in or whatever. So he starts it out underneath. This was printed, the Chief Boy Scout of America, that was printed in the book. But his first one, of course, was Florence McRae Brewster, my mother, my sister, secretary of literary club, my brother. So he just tore things out of the people's mail. He didn't actually go up and ask them. I mean, part of getting autographs is waiting in a long line in the rain by the stage door to get the thing. Oh, so John Corwin. So I would bring this to the pen show, and John Corwin is a guy that loves flexible nibs, so he wrote that there. Stephen Mandel, yeah. And then I wrote things here, but I'm running out of room. I only have a few pages left of this one. And then a friend of mine who's a bookbinder made me this book, Chairman Mao's Book of Imperialist Penmanship. So you open it up, and there's a little tissue, just like in the little red book, Mao's little red book. And then you get to get your signatures. And one of the things that I like about this book is the back. Made in USA. And I like how he even didn't line up the letters. He made it look like it was made in the United States. Well, Fox Valley Pens, and again, your name, it sounds like it starts with a U, right? Euler. Anyway, come up with you're one of the guests, and you come up with either 5 people or 7 people, depending on whether it's a table of 6 or 8. So you come up with a list, and I'll add you to my book. It seems to me Chris Rock and Will Smith, there'll be a food fight. But again, that's great to see. I mean, I think the idea would be to listen to the conversations and see where they overlap. And sometimes when I see a list that just has one musician, I might think, well, this one musician is surrounded by scientists, and maybe they'll get along fine. But Umair, Umair. Um, so I like my workbench now that I've moved things around, but I have to remind myself when I try to exit that way, my knees are going to hit the stuff I have under my desk. So I just have to back up, I guess, first. Or stand up here, which isn't going to be easy. I still have to. It's nice having open space on my right because that's where my hand is, moving around on my elbow. And if I kept bumping into shit over here, and now the shit is over there. So I don't really need my left hand to be free. Excuse me. Look at this pen though. It is just so sweet. The weight of the pen. Of course, this is kind of a heavy pen, but the weight of the pen will make a line. So your name, Umair, is that Fox Valley is where you live, I presume, the town or the area. And Elgin watches and pens you like, or is there an Elgin pen company I don't know anything about? Yes. Yes, what? There's an Elgin pen company? That's the problem with this. I ask a question that might have, and I give it's a multiple choice question, and then someone says yes, and I don't know what yes is for. No pen company yet. Okay. So you like Elgin watches. I have a collection of pocket watches and wrist watches that I more or less ignore these days, which is too bad because they're quite lovely. In fact, one of the reasons I reorganized my desk was because I do have some watches up here in this case. So I probably should. I need to sort of reorganize my life a little bit. One of the things I removed from the drawers that are in front of me was a big drawer full of slide rules. I love slide rules, and I'll do a little video about them one day. And I've got a couple of quite lovely ones. You don't have the Elgin watches, okay? You just like them? I mean, is the Elgin part of your name for Elgin watches? One of the things about me talking, I'll do a diagram of this. Here I am at my desk. My mouth gets open and I say something. Then it goes through YouTube and whatever it has to do, whatever satellites it has to bounce off of, and then gets into your computer screen and you see it. Sometimes this takes, we timed it once somehow, I forget even how that worked. It takes like 30 seconds sometimes for it to show up. And someone might answer a question that I asked 2 minutes ago. Or someone makes a comment that they heard me say, and I was, then it gets, um, it gets, the translation gets lost, especially if I have, three people talking in the room together. And so often I like people to answer without, even though it adds more type. If you were to say, yes, I love Elgin watches or something, you're slow at typing, Um, and you're also, typing in a language that isn't what you normally speak, so you have to think about the words the translating the words into English. Um, yeah. Now, when I have two people live next to each other, it seems to me the the delay doesn't happen. Though I don't know if that's true or not. We should try to sing a song together, or see if we can do a duet. That way, we'll know if it's immediate. And whether the sound, well, I don't know. It seems to me, I don't know what it was. I made an X or something, or I said something, and that's how it worked. Okay, so I'm going to make an X in a few minutes using this pen. I'm going to make an X with this pen, and you're going to type the letter X as soon as you see me make it. So we'll see what the delay is. So here's the X. Okay, type an X when it comes to you, and I'll tell you when it comes back to me. So far there's no X. There we go, two X's. So it took that long for it to come back to me, or for me to see what you wrote. So there is a delay of 10 seconds or something. But sometimes it was much longer than that. And someone was kind of upset that I didn't respond to his thoughtful answer. And then I laughed at something else. So he thought I was laughing at his thoughtful answer. And as you can imagine, it was upsetting. So I try to be. The delay was at your side, meaning it took you that long to find the X. Should we try the X thing again? We'll try it again. So I'm going to get your finger ready to press the X. So I'm going to get ready to write the X. So X. Well, there's a delay there. There's an X. So that was, 20 seconds at least, seemed. But I think when we're talking, when I have someone next to me or someone on the screen with me, we seem to be in sync. Oh, I know why. I figured it out. It's when I'm talking to someone side by side, we're using StreamYard, and when we're both on Safari, essentially. We're not, the thing that causes the delay is YouTube. So when we're both talking using Safari, we're closer together. and it's the YouTube that adds the delay. So I think that's how it works. Yeah, I mean that I know that you have you have 3 devices or 2 devices you're using, Kim, and I it just adds to the complexity of everything. But anyway, well, hmm. Well, anyway, I think that I'm going to now get another cup of coffee and maybe start some of my day. Yeah, I'll do this test another time when I have a stopwatch where I can find out how the delay works. But for people that are typing and you're responding to questions that I am asking, it might be good to type the whole answer. Yes, I like tutti frutti ice cream, rather than yes, because I might have asked a different question in between. Anyway, I like this big open space. I have to make it bigger and opener, though. I need to, if all of the things, all of the tools, all of the jars that I use for soaking pens, everything that's on my desk right now, including my coffee cup, if all of that was on a tray, that I could just lift the tray up and put down on my desk, other desk, then it would be completely open, and I could sort out lots of stuff this way. But there's never anything that ever is completely open on my life. It's always crowded and piled up with debris. So that's just, I'm just talking crazy talk. Okay, misters, I'll see you later, and the other 6 people. We'll talk to you later. Maybe I'll sign on another time later in the day. So be good, everyone. Oh, someone said something. No, it's not crazy. See, I even forget what I was talking about. Anyway, we'll see you later. Bye-bye. End stream. End stream. End stream.